Hi there guys, so it's getting close to fight night, Anthony Joshua versus Andy Ruiz Jr. for the unified heavyweight titles. Now, when asked about Andy Ruiz Jr. and whether he has missed his belts and whether he will try and hold them just as Ruiz did in the first fight, he had this to say, and also he said he will take Andy Ruiz Jr.'s head off when they meet on December 7th. Yes, why not? They are heavy, that's why I gave them to him last time. But I haven't had them around me for the past 6 months. So I would definitely take them to see what I'm about to have in my possession. I would shake his hand, we're going to fight anyway, it's sportsmanship. But come the first bell, I'll take his head off. So clearly Anthony Joshua is confident going into his rematch with Andy Ruiz Jr. He knows he has prepared diligently and perhaps he knows why he lost the first fight. Obviously, that's the main thing going into this fight, the mental side of it. Does Anthony Joshua know what happened in the first fight and why he lost? Obviously he does. That is why he is doing the rematch and that is why he is so confident. No one really knows why Anthony Joshua lost the first fight, not deep down, other than Anthony Joshua. He knows what went wrong in there because he was the closest to the action. In fact, he was the one who had the damage inflicted on him. So he knows what happened and he knows why he lost the first fight. So in turn, he knows what he has to do to rectify that and rewrite history and make sure that he becomes a 2-time heavyweight champion. Now obviously going into this fight, Anthony Joshua will have a different game plan to first time. Last time he was boxing off the back foot, he was jabbing from the hip, he was doing things we'd never really seen him do before. He wasn't throwing his uppercuts, he was hooking with a hooker, which you never do. I mean, he has such physical advantages over Andy Ruiz Jr. and he didn't use them at all in the first fight. He came down to Ruiz's level and allowed Ruiz to get on the inside. And that is the worst thing you can do with someone like Ruiz. Now, often people have said that Anthony Joshua needs to fight him the way he fought Joseph Parker, and I disagree with that. Joseph Parker is a completely different fighter. Yes, he has to box Andy Ruiz Jr., but not in the same way, because Joseph Parker is a boxer. He likes to box, he doesn't like to fight, whereas Andy Ruiz Jr. is a good boxer, but he's a brilliant fighter. So the same tactics that worked with Joseph Parker will not work with Andy Ruiz Jr. Now, obviously, it's going to be similar because Andy Ruiz Jr. is a smaller opponent and Anthony Joshua, as I said, can use his physical advantages. So the fighting style that Anthony Joshua will use will be similar to the Joseph Parker fight, but not the same. Definitely not the same. Because Andy Ruiz Jr. is moving his head a lot more, he's making himself small and hard to hit. So I believe what Anthony Joshua must do in this fight is get his jab going, find the jab. Anthony Joshua even said himself before, a right hand will take you around the block, a good jab will take you around the world. And that is true as well. So he needs to find a home for his jab. Now Andy Ruiz Jr. is very slick, he's moving his head a lot, lateral movement, just having a look at Anthony Joshua, leaning to the left, leaning to the right, trying to find an opening. So obviously, when you have someone who's ducking down and rolling under shots, the best thing to do is to go for the straight shots, because obviously they can move their head, they can roll under shots when they are hooks, but when they are straight shots, it's very hard to duck under them. And obviously, what Anthony Joshua, I believe, needs to do is aim for the chest of Andy Ruiz Jr. in the early rounds. Find his range, find his distance, and start landing on Andy Ruiz Jr. Doesn't necessarily matter where the punches land, it just matters that they land. Because obviously Anthony Joshua has that reach advantage. So obviously if he is landing on Andy Ruiz Jr., then Andy Ruiz Jr. is out of range. So if AJ does aim for the chest of him, he will hit something. And if he hits the chest of Andy Ruiz Jr., it will suck the wind out of him. And also, if Andy Ruiz Jr. is ducking down, he will land on the head of Andy Ruiz Jr. So Anthony Joshua, if he is aiming for that region, he will find something, and it will take an effect because Anthony Joshua is very heavy-handed. And we know that Andy Ruiz Jr. can be hurt by AJ. AJ knows that. So if he is throwing those straight shots and landing them to the chest or to the head of Andy Ruiz, it will start to take an effect. Now, I believe that Anthony Joshua doesn't necessarily need to try and knock Andy Ruiz Jr. out. If the knockout comes, then it comes, but it must come off of boxing. The boxing must come first. And in this fight, I believe Anthony Joshua needs to start with the jab and finish with it also, because then that creates the distance. So jab, right hand, and then get that jab straight back out again. And then Andy Ruiz Jr. is unable to get on the inside because there is distance created by Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua has the ability to dictate the distance of the fight. He done it in the first one for 2 rounds. But in the third round, he allowed Andy Ruiz Jr. the opportunity to get on the inside. So as I said, if he is jabbing, he is keeping that distance, he is keeping that range. And if he is throwing those straight shots, obviously that also maintains that distance. And then finishing with the jab while adjusting his feet, then he will be out of range. That is very important also, adjusting his feet after throwing, not staying where he punches, because Andy Ruiz Jr. will want to counter, and Ruiz will not be able to adjust his feet fast enough if AJ is moving out of range. So jab, right hand, jab, and come around to the side. Always start and finish with the jab, I think, is very important in this fight. And as I said, aim for the chest of Ruiz, because then he's bound to hit something. If he hits the chest, it's going to suck the wind out of Ruiz. And if Ruiz is ducking down and trying to roll under, then he will land on the head of Ruiz, and Ruiz won't see those punches coming either. Similarly to if the jab is in Andy Ruiz Jr.'s face, he will not see the right hand coming. Like I said, that is why the jab is so important. It sets up everything and it maintains that distance. The jab is very important in this fight for Anthony Joshua. But anyway, guys, what are your thoughts on this? Anthony Joshua saying he's going to take Andy Ruiz Jr.'s head off in their rematch on December 7th. Drop your thoughts in the comments below, click the thumbs up, and subscribe if you are new. Thanks, guys.